The Allen and Thurber Pepperbox. The Pepperbox revolver, called this way for the similitude to the 1800s pepper grinder, is key to an American gun's history due to its importance on being the transition gun between the single-shot pistol and the revolver with stationary barrel. They were reliable and effective by offering a series of multiple shots without reloading your gun. Popular for its civilian use for self-defense, and it played a big role during the gold rush era. People needed an effective gun for self-defense when traveling to the West. The Pepperbox was also to be purchased by military officers, privately for their own use, and severely purchased individually by state militia, reported in Semillon War, Mexican War, and American War. The Pepperbox had 3 or more barrels clustered around a central axis, which mostly appeared in the form of multi-shot handheld firearm. The Pepperbox came in different ammunition systems such as matchlock, wheel lock, flintlock, percussion, pinfire, rainfire, and centerfire. The Pepperbox became popular starting from the late 1930s until the American Civil War. However, the concept of several barrel was introduced much earlier, such as 15th century. Several single-shot barrels were attached to the stock, being fired individually by means of match. Continuously, during the 1790s, the same concept of the Pepperbox was applied on the basis of flintlock systems by Knock in Great Britain. This was the effect of the success of a previous iteration which had only 2 barrel mechanism guns, and eventually a gun that fitted different barrels, but these were hand-rotated. Fortunately, in the 1800s, the Industrial Revolution allowed the Pepperbox-like guns to be mass-produced and cheaper to make. During the 1830s, Pepperbox's competitor was the Colt revolver. In 1836, Colt was given a patent for a revolving percussion system, and in 1837, Allen was granted the patent for the double-action operation system. This meant that Ethan Allen was the first to make the double-action gun in America, and Colt to have the first revolving percussion system. The Pepperbox was intended for civilian use and the Colt for military use. Pepperbox had similarities to the revolver in that the Pepperbox contained bullets in separate chambers in a rotating cylinder. Unlike the revolver, each chamber had its own barrel, making it a complex indexing unnecessary. The Allen and Thurber Pepperbox pistol was everything that a man wanted in terms of pistols. If you didn't have a Pepperbox, your other option was a single-shot pistol. By targeting the civilian group, Allen and Thurber became very wealthy, which seemed quite absurd because one would think that the military group was the bigger market. In fact, the Pepperbox outsold the Colt 1936 model. Allen and Thurber, usually manufactured in Massachusetts by Ethan Allen and relatives of the same family, and as such, the name of the company changed once another family member contributed to the business. The Pepperbox was a double-action gun that offered 6 shots in a rotating barrel, meaning that you cannot manually cock the hammer. 32 all the way to 36 caliber, known for its lack of accuracy but very well recommended for a close-range challenge, and perhaps this was the reason why the gun wasn't so popular during wars. Some issues with the Pepperbox, as with any multi-shot percussion gun, is the chance of potential chain fire where spark from one cap will flash over and detonate another cap or another chamber. Really dangerous in a revolver gun, which could harm the user but not so much for the Pepperbox because each cap has its own barrel, so if chain fire occurred, the gun will fire more shots than intended. Collector's point of view, the Allen and Thurber Pepperbox is seen mostly as a civilian gun, which was carried mostly for personal use but also for the pleasure of having it for intention. As much as it was famous amongst the civilian market, the Pepperbox is seen as a neglected firearm from the collector's perspective. When one thinks of a firearm during the 19th century, one usually thinks of a Colt revolver due to its importance during wars. The reasons why a firearm is collected is due to its military significance, its role in a historical event, and aesthetics. None of these qualities the Pepperbox achieved, even if the gun was an important asset in the gold rush era.